Good morning, I'm Madison Nosek coming to you from the KXAN Live studio. And right now I want to show you guys a live look at downtown Austin. As you can see, it is super cloudy today and we're watching the clouds as they move over the city. It's a really pretty view we have right now. And scattered rain and storms are going to slowly be moving out from our eastern counties today. Only a few isolated storms are possible later today and tomorrow, but heavy rain and major flooding concerns are likely for Friday into the start of Mother's Day weekend. So if you guys have plans, make sure you keep track of our continued weather and traffic coverage we have in the shows and online. But also want to give you guys a look at our traffic. We have major delays on northbound I-35 right now coming in from Hays County. The drive time from Kyle to downtown Austin is about 60 minutes because of a crash near Slaughter Lane and near SH-45 Southeast. There was a crash earlier on southbound Mopac near Far West. That is now clear, and that big crash from earlier this morning on I-35 southbound near Cesar Chavez is clear and all the lanes are back open. But for about an hour this morning, all lanes were closed after an 18-wheeler jackknifed. But that is a recap of this morning's weather and traffic. So now that we're done with that, I would like to get you guys into this morning's top stories. A man is dead in East Austin. Around 11:30 last night, officers got called to the intersection of Manor Road and Rogie Lane because people heard gunshots. But as officers searched the area, they received more calls, directing them to a man that was hurt just down the road on Breezeway. They tried to save him, but he unfortunately didn't make it. Officers don't have a suspect or anyone in custody right now. The man convicted of murdering an Austin Black Lives Matter demonstrator will learn his punishment today. The sentencing for Daniel Perry resumes this morning. Perry killed Garrett Foster during the 2020 protests. The judge ruling over the case is considering a minimum of 10 or 25 years in prison. Closing arguments and final witnesses came forward during the first part of sentencing yesterday, and the judge is expected to issue the sentencing at 10 o'clock this morning. Now, turning to state political news, a bill that would raise the age to buy semi-automatic rifles in Texas took a step backwards. House Bill 2744 is now back in the House committee. Some gun control advocates were hopeful earlier this week when it initially passed through, but it didn't make it to the House floor yesterday, sending it back to the committee. There is a Thursday deadline for bills to receive preliminary approval on the House floor, and it's still unknown if the bill can clear committee again in time to meet that deadline. Continuing our Capitol coverage, another bill that would create a new arm of the Texas Department of Public Safety may not make it through the legislature either. A parliamentary move delayed the vote last night on House Bill 20. It would create a border protection unit. Its officers would be empowered to enforce border laws and target gang activity separate from federal authorities. The bill's author argues the state needs to take matters into its own hands to protect its own citizens. Some Texans from the Rio Grande Valley are protesting the bill. They're citing concerns their communities are being over-policed.
The chair recognizes Mr. Schaefer in opposition.
It's still uncertain if this bill, and as I mentioned earlier, the House Bill 2744, can clear the committee in time to meet that deadline.
Will the gentleman yield for question?
Not at this time.
Here's another look at traffic. We just want to show you guys how backed up it is right now, so just consider that into your morning commute if you're headed to work or dropping the kids off at school. Just making sure that you guys know it is definitely backed up, so just be aware of that. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Madison Nosek again, and this has been this morning's headlines and a recap. We'll see you next time.